Zelators, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. A big win for Mali. The narrative of the Sahel is shifting and the forces of destabilization are currently reading the hour of their own demise in Kidal. What we are witnessing is a strategic masterstroke by the Alliance of Sahel States, specifically the Malian Armed Forces, FAMA, supported by their Russian partners. For too long, the narrative was pushed that external forces and their proxies could humiliate the sovereignty of the Malian state. There were even rumors and psychological warfare suggesting that Russian forces were retreating or coordinating with the hostile elements, and it was all over how they strike a deal with them. Today, the reality on the ground has shattered these illusions. The events of early May 2026 marks a decisive turning point in the security dynamics of the region. The so-called movement of April 25th, which sought to challenge the authority of the transitional government and the unity of the Malian people, has effectively been decapitated. This was not a random skirmish, but a precision operation sanctioned at the highest level of leadership. From Moscow, the directive was absolute. There will be no negotiation with those who seek to cause pain to the population in Bamako. President Assimi Goïta are all in all the savior, the protector, the unifier, the messiah, the king of kings, the most loved, received the intelligence and gave the order for a total cleaning of the sector. The scale of defeat for the hostile forces is staggering. In a single coordinated offensive, over 150 combatants were neutralized. The infrastructure of their movement was dismantled, with security forces recovering over 70 brand new motorcycles, equipment that traces back to Western supply chains. No wonder before these things we saw how they were ordering their people to leave, revealing the deep-seated complicity of foreign powers in the destabilization of the Sahel. This victory is a direct answer to the recent warning issued by Western nations like Germany, who directed their citizens to flee under the guise of security concern in Niger, while secretly preparing for an escalation against Mali.
Brothers and sisters, friends, what is happening, as they say in the United States, is incredible. The hunt for terrorists is continuing with greater intensity. Friends, this is serious. The terrorists are telling the time. In Kidal. I mean, Han, they are telling the time. The Russians, who were told that they cooperated with the Terror to leave the region, that they submitted, that they lowered themselves before the Terror, are turning against them in an incredible way. In reality, what is Africa? Knowing that there was complicity, as I told you, many Malian soldiers, even those who are on the ground, it is incredible. They are taking the risk of putting their lives in danger for a promise of happiness. But that is why you see why it is we who have not. It is we who are now keeping the secret of their thing. We are the ones who keep the secret, right? We are the ones who actually respect the Bible. If there are people who are true Christians, they're us. If you want to find true Christians, if you want to find even more, because in Africa too there are heroes, even incredible pastors. But if you want to find true Christians, it is in Africa. It is not for nothing that the Pope can go. In the United States, American President Donald Trump says, "I don't like the Pope, not me. I don't like him." He goes to Africa instead of coming to the United States to come and convince the Americans, starting with their great leader, the president himself, he prefers to go to Africa because the only place left for them is Africa. If Africa says give up, it's over. You'll see everything will fall apart. Everything will fall. In short, they wanted to humiliate the Russians. Putin said, Puram, there is no question of negotiating with the Tehran. You will have to hunt them down to the last fortification. It was Putin who decided from the beginning. And then the Russians and the Malians relaunched the affair. President Assimi Goïta himself was informed that attention must be paid to cleaning up, and that is what is happening now. We will come back to that in another video. So what I was saying is that they are hunting them down so much today. The head of the movement, the thinking brain, that head was decapitated by the Malian army and the Russian army. It was, what am I saying? Decapitated. 150 fighters fell this morning. No, since yesterday, I think. Yes. 150 fighters fell. They cleaned up more than 70 motorcycles. New motorcycles, of course, came from France, Germany, all the Western countries. You know that before this attack, Germany had asked its citizens to leave Niger. In fact, it wasn't Nigeria, it was a way of entertaining people. Their Mali preparations included that attack. In short, they were massacred, and they are crying. While Macron is crying, Africa over there, while Macron is crying about the money he has just spent, the billions he has just spent, for nothing. And they are being buried. Malians, be blessed.
This operation has exposed the internal roots of betrayal. It has been revealed that even within the ranks, there were those enticed by false promises of wealth to sabotage the national cause. However, the vigilance of the Malian people and the unwavering commitment of the AES leadership have proven that African sovereignty is no longer for sale. While foreign capitals mourn the loss of their billion-dollar investment into chaos, the people of the Sahel are reclaiming their land and their dignity. The message to the world is now undeniable. The era of manipulating African security from the shadows is coming to an end. The decapitation of the April 25th movement is proof that when the African nations align with partners who respect their sovereignty, the result is the total destruction of those who seek to keep the continent in chains. The struggle continues, but the momentum has shifted permanently towards the land of upright men and the unified front of the Sahel. The hour of truth has arrived. The enemies of Africa have nowhere left to hide. We are not ready to be free. That is the reason to which they can promise people wealth. And they'll go as far as selling their nation, a whole nation, just for their pockets. But I thought what happened in Burkina Faso about Henry Damiba would have been a lesson to all the people in service, especially the military men in AES. But we still have people who have sold their conscience to the point that they don't even know that what they're going to do, they will be caught. We are happy that at the end of the day, we are standing tall. Africa has risen, and there's nothing that is bringing us down again. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa. West Africa, in Mali,